The Selfish Path to Romance. Download Chapter 1 for free at drkenner.com and at amazon.com.
Joan, your son is angry a lot of the time?
Yes, he is. He's 27 years old, and he becomes physically abusive when he drinks. Any kind of argument will get him set off. And he was at a bachelor party yesterday and physically attacked the groom.
Good.
Not for no reason. He went into the bathroom and someone said something to him about not being able to hold his liquor. And he came out of the bathroom and literally attacked the groom, choked him, had him on the ground.
And what happened? Did he get arrested?
No. The other boys that he was with pulled him off of him, but this is not the first time this has happened.
Okay.
He's married, so, of course, now he's, dealing, with it, marital issues, being married and having financial, I don't want to say difficulties, but, he's got himself he has a house, and I just see...
Any kids?
No children, thank God, yet.
Okay.
So I think that he really needs to attend some anger management classes to control his behavior. As I said, it seems to be more pronounced when he drinks.
Okay. What do I need to know? He's not living at home with you, right? He's got his own home, and he's out.
His own home.
And he's married for how long?
He'll be married 2 years in September.
2 years. And was he always like a lovable, charming little kid and didn't have anger management problems, and then something happened and then he became angry, or was he...
No, he has always been a live wire.
Okay, live wire. My son was a live wire, but he was the most lovable live wire.
He is. He is very lovable. He's, you could yell and scream at him when you were angry with him, and then 5 minutes later he'd be giving you a hug and a kiss.
Okay, but you're saying he was always angry.
He had an altercation. I have 3 sons. He had an altercation with his older brother when he was about maybe 8 or 9 years old in the backyard over a ball. And he went running towards his brother, knocked him down, and of course he didn't do this intentionally, but his brother broke his arm.
Okay.
So he's always, and it's funny because family members have always said, he has a chip on his shoulder, what's wrong with him, And we have had other instances where, he has blown off the handle and you try to reason with him and say, calm down, and no matter what you say, he it's my fault. Yeah, I'm the one who's wrong, So I really think that, he does need to speak with someone, and, coming from his mom, this is not going to, fly very well, but I feel if I say to him, well, I spoke to someone and I really think that, how would I guess my question is, how do I approach this?
Hey, I got to interrupt this because we've got to pay some bills. 30 seconds, that's it. A very quick ad, and then Ellen will be back.
Romance. Ugh, I wish guys knew more about what we want from a relationship. Boy, I wish I knew more about what I want. Where's that ad I saw? Here it is. The Selfish Path to Romance. A serious romance guidebook. Download Chapter 1 for free at selfishromance.com and buy it at amazon.com. The Selfish Path to Romance. That is interesting.
How would I guess my question is, how do I approach this?
I think you're in a very difficult position to approach it, because I think now he's got multiple problems. It's not just an anger management problem. You mentioned financial problems, but the big one, the elephant in the middle of the room, they call it, the big problem that nobody addresses, is the alcohol problem.
Okay.
Because if he's using as a method to solve his problems, running away from them with alcohol, he's only going to get worse with time.
I don't think he doesn't use alcohol. It's not like he goes out and drinks every night. He, happened to be at this bachelor party. It just seems to intensify things when he, he goes out and he, may go to out with friends and things are fine, and then it may just be something that sets him off.
How often does he let loose like this?
Where he has an altercation?
Yeah.
Not that often. Maybe once every 3 months, 6 months. As I said, it depends upon a situation.
But does he lose it? It may not be, when we talk about altercation, you're talking about physically hitting somebody, physically choking them, physically doing something. Does he do it to his wife? Is it abusive?
No.
Okay, so you're saying what can you do as a mom? What have you tried in the past?
Well, actually, he did go to an anger management class. I did get him to go to one when he was a teenager. He had an altercation. I don't recall exactly what it was, and I said, I think you really need. And he did go to an evening class. But it wasn't that long, and he.
Okay, but I'm saying, when have you? I could ask you if we don't have the time, but I could ask you to list all the things you've tried that have not worked as a mom, and it's good for you to do that.
Okay.
So when we get off when we're done with the call, you could sit down and write all the ways you've tried to reach him. Was it through crying? Was it through begging? Was it through yelling at him? Was it through giving him the silent treatment?
Okay.
Figure out what didn't work.
Okay.
And then one of the ways that you may approach him is to say, on one sense, I feel powerless, and I know that's a fact, honey. And I love you, and I would love to see you take this seriously, because I'll tell you, every 3 to 6 months is a long time, is quite frequent. I mean, that's quite serious, honey, and it must scare the heck out of you. Notice I'm not saying it must scare the heck out of me. It does scare me, but I want to appeal to it being a benefit to him to open up his eyes a little wider. And at times you may tell yourself it's just you and you can't change. But I know differently. I know that people who've had long-standing problems can learn sometimes even just a few skills that can help them manage the tough situations differently.
Okay.
And, I would recommend cognitive therapy. And you could go to a website. You can go to my website. There's a link there. My website's drkenner.com.
Yeah, I have it up now.
And there's, you can go to the Academy of CT, cognitivetherapy.org, and find, and he could find a therapist in his neck of the woods.
Okay.
But notice, I did pick one thing out that you said, Joan. If his theme is, it's my fault, I'm always the one who's wrong, if you've heard something like that repetitively,
yes, I have.
then that is significant. And that may go back to childhood things. That may go back to the theme that he's fighting against. I wasn't wrong. It was an accident, Mom, with the breaking his brother's arm.
Yeah.
But you want to be able to, that's really his work. If it were happening to you, if you were him, and I was talking to you, I would say, oh my gosh, that's a wonderful clue that you just uncovered. Figure out how you can answer that differently, and maybe he needs some trauma work too to figure out what he took away from some childhood incidents where he felt unfairly judged and is fighting them now.
Okay.
Because he needs to let go of that. I thank you so much for your call, Joan.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
For more Dr. Kenner podcast, go to drkenner.com and please listen to this ad. Here's an excerpt from The Selfish Path to Romance, the Serious Romance Guidebook by clinical psychologist Ellen Kenner and co-authored Edwin Locke.
Good communication cannot save every troubled relationship, but effective communication is essential to all successful romantic relationships, and it can save many relationships that might otherwise fail. Your communication style and skills determine how intense conflicts become, how long they last, how complicated, a single issue or a laundry list of complaints, how many people become involved, how many aspects of your life are affected, home, work, sex, family relations, how the conflicts are ultimately resolved, and what emotional scars, if any, such conflicts leave on the partners.
You can download Chapter 1 for free by going to drkenner.com and buy it at amazon.com.